Hello students, as in previous video lecture, I was discussed about various types of barriers to the effective communication. As you know, there are mainly 4 classification of barriers which makes an obstacles to make an communication effective. So you learned about all those 4 category of barriers to effective communication. Then how to resolve all those barriers and how to make a communication very good, effective. So is there any suggestions to improve the communication effective? So say for example, when there is a problem means we are looking for resolving the problems. We are searching for the ways to resolve the problem. Like that, the communication would become effective means what are all the barriers are there, you know about that. Now coming to the next topic, suggestions to improve communication effectiveness. So what are all the general suggestions or guidelines to be followed to make a communication much effective? So here there are 9 general suggestions or guidelines given by the various experts. By following all these 9 suggestions and guidelines, we can make the communication very much effective and we can improve upon that suggestions to make an effective communication. Let's see what are those suggestions. The first suggestion is clarify the ideas before communication. So as you are a sender of information, before conveying any matter or any message to the receiver, you must clarify that what to be talked, how the information is to be passed, and what type of message or matters to be informed to the receiver or other person. That is the first suggestion. What is that? Clarify the ideas before communication. So I am giving the information regarding about improving communication effective. Means I should have clarity that in this class what I will going to talk about. So if I have a clarity about what I have to give information, then it becomes the communication effective. So if I don't made any plan, so if I don't have any idea, so directly I come to class and I am giving information means just little bit it creates clumsy in the minds of receiver. Therefore, when you are as a information provider, when you are giving information to others, you must clarify the ideas or the matters that you want to talk, to whom the information is to be reached, at what time the information is to be conveyed, by which means the information is to be passed. All those things you must pre-decide before making the communication. So then only it would be very easy to convey. Then second is consider the needs of receiver. So here need is nothing but requirement. So here think I am the sender and you are the receiver. So here I am here to give information or to teach about the syllabus. You also need that what is the syllabus and what are the concepts involved in various subject and various chapters. So I will going to leave that part and just I will going to talk the general information. I will going to discuss the general matters means, does you feel the communication effective? No, of course it's not possible, because as a receiver your need is to gain the knowledge or is to get the knowledge of subject. So apart from that, if I keep it aside and I will going to discuss the general things means, it is not useful. There is a waste of time, energy, money, all those things. Therefore, as a sender, you must consider the need, means requirement of the receiver. What type of information or what type of matters that the receiver wants. Based on that, you need to communicate to the receiver. So say for example, subordinate need an assistance or suggestions that how to operate the machine. At the time, the superior must give the suggestions and must guide the subordinate how to operate the machine and how to manufacture the product. It is provided on time. If it is not provided on time means the work will be stopped and there is no progress in work. That is why you must consider the needs of receiver. Based on that, you must make the plan to communicate to the concerned receiver of the communication. Then third is consult others before communication. So before transfer or before exchange of information between the persons, they must consult others. If the sender is not have any authentic information, if the sender want to convey the official matters to other persons in the company, means he must consult the superior. So by consulting the superior, they must pass information to the subordinates or to the lower level ranks of the people. So say for example, superior gives information to the supervisor. The supervisor transfer that information to the workers. Here the superior wants to convey information to workers means directly they will not contact with workers. They are exchange information to supervisor and supervisor gives information to worker. So there is an information that the superior gives an information in oral form. So he generally has passed information, but superior does not told that it is official. So if the supervisor conveys the information means it is the worker feel that it is confirmed information, it is truth information. Therefore, while communicating others, while the information is being exchanged with supervisor and worker, the supervisor must get confirmation. By getting confirmation from the superior they are exchanging the information. So therefore, consult others before communication. If you doesn't have any idea, if the information that you feel not genuine, at that time you must get the confirmation from the concerned officials or concerned people in the communication to get the clarification. That is the third suggestion: consult others before communication. Then beware of language, tone, content of message. These three elements are very, very important. Be aware of language. Say for example, I am exchanging the information of this concept in English. So all of you easy to understand the English, all of you are easy to understand Kannada. So and think you are easy to understand the Telugu also. But if I convey information in Tamil language or in Malayalam language, means that you will going to understand that what I conveyed. Those who know Tamil and Malayalam, they will understand. But rest of them, what about other students? Right? As I am a sender, I need to know that the language is being understood by the receiver or not. That is why be aware of language while you are communicating. You need to confirm that whether the language is convenient and understood to both the receiver and the sender. And the tone. So the tone is nothing but pitch of a voice. So what I am speaking, so that voice is to be reached to all the people in an area or particular place. So if I am conveying or if I am speaking or if I am explaining about something and my voice is very less, my pitch of voice is very low, means it is difficult to listen and to hear what I am saying. Right? So if the tone or pitch of voice is very clear and very clarity in sense, then the information is to be reached to the respective peoples who are in that respective place. That is why be aware of the tone, means pitch of the voice. And content of message. This is very important. Many times I am telling that content is important. So the explanation of a particular point, the general explanation is not required. Keep remember. Many times I told you that the general information does not valid. So the content of the message is very, very, very important. So the explanation may be in 5 lines or 6 lines. But if you read that a 5-line explanation or 6-line explanation or even 7-line explanation, that must be an content. So if there is no content, means there is a waste of the information. That is why be aware of language, tone and content of the message. Then fifth one is convey things of help and value to the listeners. Convey things of help and value to the listeners. So while as a sender, when you are exchanging the matters or ideas, views opinions, what you exchanged that matter that must be helpful to the listener and that must be create some value to the listener. So that's why some people say talk useful matter, don't talk unuseful matter, or so which is not important or unnecessary things. So if you talk unnecessary things means it will not helpful to the listener and it will not create any value to the receiver. So if you speaking or if you are conveying the important informations means automatically the mind of receiver is going to capture, or you can capture the attentiveness of the listeners, and if you give the information it would be very much useful and where it will going to create some value to the listeners. That is why the information that you are conveying that must be helpful and it must provide some value to the listener. That's why some people say don't talk unnecessarily. Talk or exchange the necessary matters which saves the time, energy and money, etc. Then sixth is ensure proper feedback. So here it comes. What is feedback? Let's your turn. Now you communicate. What is feedback? Feedback means it is an response which is given by receiver to the sender. So you know the feedback is also one of the element which comes in a process of communication. So while explaining the process of communication with a diagram, so I also mentioned the element of feedback. So here feedback means it is an response or reply which is given by receiver to the sender of the information. So it gives a clarity about whether the information reached to the receiver, whether the information is being perceived by the listener of the communication or not. It gives an assurance about receiving and perceiving of the information which is being conveyed by the sender. That is ensure proper feedback. Then seventh is communicate for present and future. Sometimes the communication is to be made for both the activities of present and future. Will you give any one example? Which type of communication must be done for present and future? Say for example, plan. So conveying the plan to the all members of company, that one kind of present and future. So how? Sir, plan means deciding what is to be done in future. So how it relate to present? So here in plan, what you are going to do? You are deciding the future. That is 101% correct. But to reach or to make realization of that future, we have to work for present. We have to work for present. Say for example, in the month of November and 10 lakh units must be sold. 10 lakh units must be sold. Means this information belongs to future. But to sell 10 lakh units of goods means what is to be do at present. That is, production is to be carried out by the month of October only. So by the month of October end, so if all the production of 10 lakh units goods are ready means we can make the sales of 10 lakh. So this information is being conveyed to the production department that conveys what to do now. So in month of October they have to produce 10 lakh unit of goods for the purpose of achieving the future activity. That is why sometimes the communication is much helpful for present criteria and future situation also. Therefore, communicate for present and future. Then 8th is follow-up communication. So once you are conveying or once you are exchanging the information means you need to make regular follow-up. Regular follow-up. So if you are not making any regular follow-up means both the sender and receiver can't able to know where the information is passing, whether the information is reaching to everyone or not. So therefore, to ensure that information is passing to each and everyone, that is conveying for each and every corners of the company means it is to be ensured with the help of regular follow-up. That is the 8th suggestion. Then last but not least, be a good listener. At present, I am a sender, but so in past, I am also a listener. So that I am teaching about the concept means I have also listened at where in my studies also, in my graduation also. Therefore, if the sender want to become a good speaker or if the speaker is want to a good communicator, they must be a good listener. Then only the communication will become effective. So you need to think as a part of the listener, in the viewpoint of the listener, and based on that you must convey information to the receiver. That's why be a good listener is also the suggestion or guidelines to make the communication effective. So this is about the entire concept, suggestions or guidelines which help in improving communication effectiveness. This is about the concept, that is the element of communication. So by this your 7th chapter is completed. That is, I will make some brief information that you learned about the meaning of directing, and some basic concept of directing, and the major is elements of directing. In elements of directing, we have 4 elements. Which are those? One is supervision, second is leadership, third is motivation, then fourth is communication. So we discussed each and every concept relating to all the 4 elements of directing. This is about the 7th concept, that is directing.